I've seen a lot of NFC quarterbacks rankings recently, so I'm going to do my own. Now, when talking about the AFC and the NFC, it's two completely different conferences when talking about quarterback star power. The AFC has Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, and soon to be Aaron Rodgers. But in the NFC, there's just not that one guy. But that doesn't mean that the NFC doesn't have good quarterbacks. So without further ado, here are my top 10 quarterbacks I have heading into the 2023 season in the National Football Conference. At number 10, I have Brock Purdy. What a season he had a year ago, from being Mr. Irrelevant to leading the Niners to the NFC title game. I still believe if he didn't get hurt in that game that they would have been playing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. But, from a guy drafted as late as him, the moment never really seemed too big for him. And, Shanahan may have found his guy for his system. I mean, he runs it efficiently, and with the supporting cast that he has, and a year or two with the Niners, I think it'll only elevate his play when he comes back. At number 9, I have Dak Prescott. Last year was tough for him. Led the league in interceptions after just 12 games, 12 regular season games. His third worst completion percentage in his career, I believe. But I think he'll have a bounce back season. He still led the Cowboys to a playoff victory. He's still a good quarterback. The physical ability is still there. And, I think he'll still have, Dallas in contention for the NFC East in 2023. At number 8, I have Danny Dimes, Vanilla Vic, Daniel Jones. He kind of grew on me after last year. 15 touchdowns is not something that's going to wow you on a stat sheet. But considering the receiving group that he have, he did the most of what he could have done. And, leading the Giants to a playoff berth, a playoff win, unfortunately, against Minnesota. In a way, he kind of deserved the extension. I think he's going to be all right under Dable. The most underrated part of his game is what he can do on the ground. He's 6'4", 6'5", 220. He's one of the fastest quarterbacks in the league, and he ran for 700 yards last year. So at number 8, Daniel Jones. Number 7, I have Derek Carr. It's a fresh start for him and Big Easy now as he signed with the New Orleans Saints. But, I've kind of always been a Derek Carr fan. He leads the Raiders as statistically their all-time leading passer. I think passing yards and touchdowns. And he could also lead a mean game-winning drive or fourth quarter comeback, which he also set the Raiders' all-time record in that. But, for the first time, he'll be playing with a top half of the league defense, so it's just going to be interesting to see what he can do in New Orleans this number 6, Geno Smith deserved to be extended by the Seahawks. What a year he had. They were a surprise team, in my opinion, in 2022, and I think they're going to be even better this upcoming season, contention for the NFC West. But Geno Smith, led the league in completion percentage, also set the single-season passing yards record for the Seahawks. So I think there'll be big things in store for Geno and the Seahawks in 2025. If the Cardinals are going to be bad again this year, it's not going to be because of who they have at quarterback. Kyler Murray, he's such a unique talent like Lamar and Josh Allen, etc. He's got a cannon for an arm, and also he could kill you on the run game and also scramble around. So, I still think he's one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL, and that's why I have him here at number 5. At number 4, it kind of seemed like an afterthought that Matthew Stafford and the Rams won a Super Bowl not too long ago. But, they dealt with injuries last year. Him and Cooper Kupp got hurt, but we know when Matthew Stafford is healthy, he's one of the most dangerous quarterbacks in the NFL. So he comes in at number 4. Number 3, yes, the Detroit Lions and Jared Goff, they will be a threat in the NFC, in my opinion, in 2023. They had one of the better offenses in the league last year. And, Jared Goff, he was under center for, I think, every game in 2022. So, he's got the arm, he's got the build. He's one of the better quarterbacks in the conference, in my opinion. And like I said, they are going to be a threat for the division title. And, you'll see what happens in the playoffs if they get there. But, Jared Goff, he's always been a good quarterback, even back to his Rams days before they moved on from him. 2018, he led the Rams to a Super Bowl. So, whatever Detroit's got brewing there, I kind of like what they're doing. I like Dan Campbell, and I am a Jared Goff fan. At number 2, this might be kind of surprising, but Jalen Hurts, what a leap that he took last year after his first 2 years in the league. MVP candidate, led the Eagles to the Super Bowl, and, was probably a few minutes away from bringing home a world championship. But, he just seems so calm and collective, when the ball's in his hands. He's also one of the most dangerous quarterbacks on the ground as well. He has 700, plus rushing yards in 2022. But, he's in probably the best situation for a quarterback in the NFL. That team was just loaded. So it's just one of those things where you're like, can he do it again? You have to see it again for another year. And at number 1, This is a whole discussion within itself, but I truly believe that Kirk Cousins is the best quarterback in the NFC heading into the 2023 season if Aaron Rodgers does not return to the Green Bay Packers. And as a disclaimer, I'm not the biggest Kirk Cousins fan as a Vikings fan, and I do believe that they are going to move on from him in the next year or two, just because of his age and, how you have to construct a team, to make a run of the Super Bowl when you're talking, contractually and how you're going to work the salary cap. And with the arrival of Kevin O'Connell, that really helped elevate his play. I mean, you have to look, the Vikings won 13 games in 2022 with one of the league's worst defenses and, a rushing attack, even with Dalvin Cook, didn't rank in the top portions of the NFL. Kirk Cousins led 8 game-winning drives last season. That ties Matthew Stafford for an NFL record in which he did back in 2016. And you just have to look at the situation that Cousins was in last year. I mean, his offensive line wasn't great. And like I said, his defense and running game weren't the best. And you can say, yeah, he had Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson. They didn't really have a number 2 wide receiver. I love Adam Thielen, but he wasn't really that guy to fill in the number 2 spot. But, Cousins, the team kind of embraced him last year as in his personality. It was a fun season. And I think this upcoming season, this year, is going to be the biggest of his career. Because, if he wants to be a Minnesota Viking, long term, they're either going to have to make a deep playoff run, go to the NFC title game, go to the Super Bowl. But I think another year in Kevin O'Connell's system, they're getting it down once more that, he's going to be the best quarterback in the NFC, and I do truly believe that.